In the early hours of August 8, 1963, the stillness of the English countryside was about to be shattered by one of the most audacious crimes in history. A Royal Mail train, heavily laden with cash, left Glasgow on its way to London, blissfully unaware of the meticulously plotted heist that awaited it. The plan was audacious, daring, and above all, dangerous, a blend that would capture the imagination of the nation and forever alter the landscape of crime in Britain. At the helm of this audacious plan was Bruce Reynolds, a mastermind with a knack for orchestrating elaborate schemes. Reynolds was no stranger to the criminal underworld. His reputation as a clever and resourceful thief had grown over the years. With a mix of charm and ruthlessness, he had successfully pulled off smaller jobs, but this was to be his magnum opus. The lure of £2.6 million, equivalent to tens of millions today, drew him and his crew deeper into a world where loyalty was scarce and betrayal lurked around every corner. Reynolds surrounded himself with a diverse gang of criminals, each handpicked for their unique skills. Among them was Bobby Welch, a former soldier whose military precision and calm demeanor made him an invaluable asset in high-pressure situations. Nick Reynolds, Bruce's younger brother, added a layer of unpredictability to the crew. He was impulsive but fiercely loyal, willing to do whatever it took to ensure the success of the heist. Rounding out the team was Gordon Goody, a seasoned criminal with a wealth of experience in planning robberies, whose sharp intellect and street smarts kept the group grounded. The gang's plan was nothing short of ingenious. After weeks of reconnaissance, they identified a remote stretch of track where they could halt the train without raising suspicion. They created a fake signal to trick the train driver into stopping. Their confidence surged as they envisioned the haul. The thrill of the chase fueled their determination, and they felt invincible. Yet, beneath the bravado lay an undercurrent of tension. They knew that one misstep could lead to their undoing. As the night wore on, the gang gathered at a safe house, a nondescript farmhouse nestled away from prying eyes. Each member was tasked with specific roles, and excitement crackled in the air. The clock ticked down toward the heist, and nerves mixed with adrenaline, creating a potent cocktail of anticipation. They shared stories of past exploits, laughter punctuating the weight of the moment. But in their hearts, a flicker of doubt began to take root. What if they were caught? What if the police were already onto them? As the hour approached, Reynolds gathered the group for a final briefing. "This is our moment," he declared, his voice steady yet charged with urgency. "We do this clean, we do this smart, and we walk away with a fortune." The gang nodded in agreement, their resolve hardening. Little did they know that their meticulously crafted plan would soon spiral into chaos. With the sound of distant trains rumbling in the background, the gang set out under cover of darkness, hearts pounding in unison. The Great Train Robbery was about to unfold, a tale of ambition, betrayal, and a relentless pursuit of wealth that would echo through the annals of crime for decades to come. As they approached the railway tracks, the tension was palpable, a prelude to the unfolding drama that would capture the public's imagination and leave law enforcement scrambling to catch the culprits. The stage was set. The heist of a lifetime was underway. As the clock struck midnight, a shroud of darkness enveloped the English countryside, cloaking the gang in anonymity. Bruce Reynolds led his crew down a narrow, secluded road toward the railway tracks, the weight of the impending heist heavy on their shoulders. Each step echoed with both excitement and apprehension, the thrill of the unknown intensifying their senses. They were on the verge of history, a moment that could elevate them from obscurity to infamy. The gang had meticulously planned every detail. Bobby Welch, with his military precision, was the first to spot the signal post ahead. "That's our mark," he whispered, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. The fake signal they had fashioned from scrap metal and paint stood ready to deceive the train driver. As they approached, a collective tension surged through the group. This was the moment they had all been waiting for. Once they reached the signal post, Reynolds took a deep breath, his mind racing through the plan one last time. "Gordon, you and Nick will keep watch. Bobby and I will handle the train." Nodding in agreement, the men spread out, taking their positions like players on a chessboard. Each move calculated and crucial. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an eerie glow that illuminated their determined faces. As the sound of the approaching train grew louder, adrenaline coursed through Reynolds' veins. He and Welch positioned themselves at the signal, hearts pounding in unison with the rumble of steel wheels against the tracks. The distant lights of the train flickered closer, a beacon of opportunity. Welch felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. This was it, the culmination of their efforts and dreams. The Royal Mail train rolled into view, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Reynolds raised a fake signal, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. The train slowed, oblivious to the danger ahead. As it came to a halt, the two men sprang into action. They dashed toward the engine, faces hidden behind masks, their movements swift and decisive. "Stay calm. This is a robbery, not a murder," Reynolds shouted, his voice firm yet controlled. The crew inside the train froze in shock, their expressions a mix of fear and disbelief. With Welch at his side, Reynolds quickly disarmed the driver and guard, ensuring compliance with minimal resistance. The heist was unfolding as planned, clean and efficient. Meanwhile, Nick and Gordon stood watch, eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of trouble. Their hearts raced with the thrill of the moment, yet anxiety gnawed at them. What if the authorities had been tipped off? What if a train happened to pass by and derail their plans? "Focus," Nick whispered, trying to keep his nerves in check. Gordon nodded, his gaze sharp. They knew the stakes. Failure meant not just loss of money, but also potential imprisonment. The success of the operation hinged on their ability to remain vigilant. Back at the train, the gang moved quickly to uncouple the cash-filled carriage. Reynolds' hands trembled slightly with anticipation as they loaded the bags of cash into the waiting getaway vehicle. With each bag, the weight of their ambitions grew heavier, and the reality of their actions settled in. "Let's make this quick," Reynolds urged, glancing nervously down the tracks. As they finished loading the last of the cash, a sudden sound pierced the night air, a distant siren. Panic surged through the group. "We need to move now," he shouted, with hearts pounding and adrenaline fueling their escape. The gang jumped into the vehicle and sped off into the darkness, the thrill of the heist mingling with the looming threat of capture. They had pulled off the impossible, but at what cost? As they tore away from the scene, a question lingered in the air. Would they escape unscathed, or would the shadows of their crime catch up with them? The chase had only just begun. As dawn broke over the English countryside, a calm settled over the landscape. Yet for Bruce Reynolds and his crew, the thrill quickly turned to anxiety. They had successfully stolen £2.6 million, but now, in their makeshift hideout, the reality set in. The euphoria of victory held fear. They were criminals, and the police would soon be on their trail. In the dim light of the farmhouse, the gang huddled around stacks of cash, faces lit by a flickering lamp. "We did it. We actually pulled it off," Nick Reynolds exclaimed, his voice full of disbelief. He grinned at the audacity of their achievement. But Bruce remained stoic, eyes narrowed, calculating the repercussions. "We need to lay low for a while," Bruce insisted, his voice steady with urgency. "They'll be looking for us. One mistake, and we're done." The weight of leadership bore heavily on him. He knew the thrill came with high stakes. Meanwhile, police were mobilizing fast. News of the robbery spread like wildfire, igniting a media storm. Journalists scrambled for details, while the public, captivated, sought answers. Law enforcement faced pressure, with detectives examining evidence. Detective Chief Inspector Tommy Butler, known for his tenacity, took charge. "We will catch them," he told his team, his face set with resolve. This wasn't just a crime, it was a statement. As clues began to align, the gang's meticulous planning became clear. They left little behind. A key lead came from a railway worker who recalled a suspicious vehicle near the tracks before the robbery. Back at the farmhouse, the gang was on edge. "What do they find us?" Gordon Goody whispered. Their bravado began to fade, overtaken by anxiety. Trying to lighten the mood, Bobby Welch said, "We've got money now. Let's enjoy it while we can." But Reynolds wasn't convinced. "We can't be reckless. Flaunting draws attention." His caution came from a fear of losing everything. Days passed and the investigation intensified. Butler's team traced connections and watched known criminals. The case had become a national obsession. Reynolds, sensing danger, suggested, "We need to split up. lay low in different places and meet later. The gang agreed, each one uncertain of what lay ahead. The price of freedom haunted them. The chase wasn't over. It had just begun. Weeks passed. The gang had escaped but felt the weight of their actions. The thrill was gone. Detective Butler felt rising pressure to solve the case and restore trust in the force. One night, while reviewing evidence, Butler found a vital clue, a loaf of bread from a bakery with a unique crust. Questioning local bakers led police closer to the gang. Meanwhile, Bruce hid in a rundown London flat, haunted by paranoia. Though he had escaped, he felt trapped. The phone rang. It was Nick. They've linked the bread to the hideout. We need to leave. Now. Meet me at the usual spot, Bruce said, packing a small bag. They had stolen millions, but now ran for their lives, always fearing capture. As police closed in, betrayal set in. One by one, members were caught. Each arrest unveiled more. Money had been replaced by guilt and dread. Reynolds, too, faces reckoning. The heist became more than crime. It was a cautionary tale. Eventually, he was caught. The dream of freedom collapsed. The Great Train Robbery became legend. Films, stories, and books romanticized it. But beneath the allure was a harsh truth. Boldness had its price. Reynolds' story would echo through time as a reminder of the line between ambition and downfall.